And we're live.
There we
Hey,
go.
everybody.
Yeah, fine. Hello. Hello, lads, lasses, and NB badasses. Right now at the Alchemy Bench is just like how it used to be also in the early days. Just like me, Summer Geek, and John
Before we got a
Brooklyn.
black friend.
Yes, yeah, Isaiah Taylor is going to be busy today. Working up and all seems to be working out like better for him now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just
He's
like,
had a couple of
uh,
weeks to settle in. He's no longer getting yelled at or yelling at people.
yeah. Yes, evening, evening, Mithra. Hello, Lucidia. How are you doing? Yeah, boop to you as well. Uh,
I mean,
let's
unless
like,
you want to listen to me talk about leftists getting assassinated by the U.S. government, maybe we should bring somebody else to talk, because I got nothing else to talk about.
I got some things to talk about.
All
Okay,
right.
hey, Mithril, Joey, or like, well, Joey, you also have access to like the link, so if you want to hop in as well, do so. So, like, whoever, anyone in our live chat, as it were, speak up if you want to like comment on these things. I might just like give the like link to Mithril because like he was always good to like tell us what's happening in like the UK.
Tell us
Uh,
how Rishi Sunak is fucking up England. Or no, fucking up everything but England, because the Tories love England.
yes.
They love to lie
Mm-hmm.
back and think of England.
Not doing well. Facing homeless. Oh, fucking hell. Sorry to hear that, Lucidia.
And say goodbye or
I
stay and
wish
help.
I can help. And hey, Joe and Jumpy. Let's say, yeah, like a DM me or like somewhere on like Twitter or look. You know, my like email is like charitylinks.page. So you can find my email on charitylinks.page. So if you have like the Bernie Mayor's house in France, and you think like it was the 4th of July or the crazy.
Fucking hate these headphones. Nobody can hear you at the moment, Geek, because my headphones are shitty and I have to add them back. All right. And now that's connected. Can they hear you now?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, they can hear you now.
Okay,
So you were saying hello to
technology.
people, I think?
Yes, I was. Okay, so all it's like saying is hello to people. Mithril, I like DM you to like a Zoom link so you can like hop in and like tell us like how England is like screwing up everything as it were. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, I don't. Yeah, I don't think I was like saying anything else before. I'm still sharing around the links to like all the places. So like, I'll be done with
Familiar
that like
faces.
shortly. Yes, worn out places,
All
familiar faces.
you recognize the lyric. I was about to start
Yeah.
singing.
That's oh yeah, Mad World. Yeah,
I don't
originally,
think.
but mm, yeah, is what's all you
I'm
were
not
thinking.
aware of any news that's happened. Everyone's still talking about the dead billionaire.
The Supreme Court ruled on affirmative action. It's
Oh boy, I'm guessing that went well.
is see they still want affirmative action for the military. They think because like Claire Thomas said that like the uh yeah, that like diversity is good for the military. However, you should not judge a person by their race or like you get special benefits for your race or whatever. Like they yeah, so just like not only for like public universities but also for private universities. No, it's just like you can't they strike down on the affirmative action. It's just like again, just reversing a lot of things is where because yeah. And yes, I'll share a link to like the Democracy Now panel and on that as I after I like share around things, but it's just like that's just one of the decisions that like the Supreme Court like ruled upon. What else is it? Because like yeah, it's like just like this time last year when they like overturned Dobbs. With the no, they overturned Roe versus Wade with the Dobbs decision. It's like, yeah, they're just like doing all they can with like the last week or so of their session as were. So like, oh wait, everything's due now. Well, let's like do this, do this, do this, and it's just like, yeah. Um, and so it's let's see.
All I can see is that they decided to fuck over queer people in favor of a Christian web designer, the one who made up a lie about
Yes.
being asked to design a website for queer people.
Oh yes, and like some of them
Oh, and here's
investigating
the
that
thing
is
about
just
affirmative action.
yeah. It's just like more and I
The
I
Supreme
don't know
Court
how
Friday ruled in favor of a Christian web designer who refuses to create websites to celebrate same-sex weddings out of religious objections.
even though it's like the people that was like even though it was like a reporter that actually researched it, found the phone number of the person that made the claim, found it like all the information, and it's just like and it's a real nice dude and stuff like that. He's straight, he's like married, and it's just like doesn't want to have a gay wedding. There was no website at all. It was just like there was no website or just like no gay couples like came to the website asking for like a design for a wedding sort of thing too. It was just it's all lies. It's just all lies. It's just
The
like
First
how it
Amendment
makes.
envisions the United States as a rich and complex place where all persons are free to think and speak. That's not the marketplace you fuck with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the way we have things set up, your business is separate from you. That's why when your business
Mm-hmm.
fails, they're allowed to go after all your business stuff to recuperate their losses, but not your house. Okay?
Oh, the Metro. Oh, I'm sorry, Metro. I got send the link in like DMs on like Discord, so I'll like send to you an email.
Why would you send it over Discord? Oh, God, you're the worst. Nobody
Yeah,
uses
it's
Discord. Discord is for Nazis. No, wait, that's Telegram.
yes. Uh, yes, I should have like done the both, but I don't know. Is I should remember like Metro, you're old as dirt, and you're not using the new thing of Discord.
And the reason he's allowed to insult you, Mithril, is because you're not a patron.
Speaking of
Speaking
patrons,
of.
so to the people that like for some reason or another like give us money so that we can like do this sort of thing is Flora, Marty, Tim, Von Rack, Stap Noise, Aaron, the Fuck Boys, Ely, Joe, and I think that's everyone.
Did you say Marty already? You might have said Marty.
Yes, I
You probably said Marty.
yeah, I already said Marty.
Did you mention Joe? Ah, fuck.
Yes,
Joe.
I did mention Joe.
Go to hell, Joe.
Joe, where are you going with that gun in your hand?
To Florida.
Because
Because that's legal.
yes. Hello, Groundhog 2010. How are you doing? The difference between the Supreme Court and cockroaches is not very much, but like one more is like hopefully helpful than the cockroaches. Um,
I don't know.
yeah,
Cockroaches clean up filth.
mhm. Yeah, that's right. The Supreme Court also ruled on like a student death relief as well. It's just like
They're
I
literally
don't know
just
what.
throwing out all the trash they can, aren't they?
Yeah,
Ooh,
and
we
I can hear
barely
myself. So
you,
Metro,
or maybe that's your TV.
that's just the like stream in the background.
Okay.
So his microphone was working for a part of it. How are you doing, Metro?
I'm all right. Are you?
I'm all right. Just like the same old with me.
Yeah, I know that. We're having fun and games in the dear old United Kingdom.
Of Great
We
Britain
do
and
have
Northern Ireland.
Not that much great about it, I can tell you.
Well, it
Hey,
certainly
contact
is
Rex.
bigger than some islands.
It's bigger than Rhode Island. Not much else.
Rhode Island's
Such
not
a
an
false.
island.
Yes, exactly. It's not even a peninsula.
We do have some positives. Cruella Braverman, who is our Home Secretary, which is, I don't know the equivalent job in the States is Secretary of State,
Probably.
maybe.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably not the Secretary of the Interior, because I hear people talk about the Home Secretary a lot. Nobody talks
Oh
about the
God, yeah.
Secretary of the Interior.
Um, her wanting to deport asylum seekers to Rwanda has been stopped by the courts.
Okay.
They are obviously going to appeal it to the UK Supreme Court, but
Mhm.
we're all quite hopeful. So she's been proved yet again to be a complete moron. She showed up at a committee, the UK's Parliament calls committees. You guys the same thing, I know.
Mhm.
And she was supposed to be completely on her brief, and she had no clue what she was talking about, and it was great. It was a joy to watch. She's um, she's a brown fascist, which was a delight, you know.
So,
So
sort of like Israel.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, they're not really brown, but technically, I mean, they're basically their hearts are brown as far as the Nazis are concerned. They only ever had the
Yeah.
most tenuous grasp on whiteness.
True.
Mhm.
Even in context. Yeah.
Hey, Rich.
So I mean that is positive. Meanwhile, 70,000 of our school kids are under threat because the buildings are now crumbling, and due
Oh,
to
so not the same way our school children are under threat.
it's a massive investment, apparently, by the Tory government over the last 15 years. Nothing appears to have been done. So that, so that's great. That's something to look forward to.
I just
We've got
Googled because let's see, I think it was who said it. Oh, groundhog. Imagined cockroaches going on strike. I googled it and I got a whole lot of links to Augie and the Cockroaches, which is a cartoon, and there's an episode where they go bowling. So strike. And then the like seventh or eighth link down is Oxford University students threaten rent strike.
yes. I mean,
How are those cockroaches? I don't know.
I think you can make. Oh no, they are cockroaches.
Remember, Oxford is like the Harvard of Britain.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It is.
See, whereas
Oxford.
Eton is like the prep school of Britain, right? It's a
Mm,
secondary school,
oh,
not a college, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that's
Uh,
where all the rich kids go to college.
yeah. And it's where most of the rich kids go to become a minister, fortunately. And yeah, I was asking. I mean, you can tell me this, because I was watching this the other day, and it suddenly occurred to me that the eternally disappointing Labour Party under Keir Starmer, their Chancellor of the Exchequer, so you know the person who runs the banks, the financial side,
Hmm.
is just like the current prick who is a Tory, a former worker in I think it's Goldman Sachs. So you know, one of the big clearinghouse, one of the big four bank things,
The big far
financial sector.
thieves.
Mm.
Hmm.
And it struck me the other day how very odd it is that consistently politicians appoint these people as if they have any expertise in finance apart from fucking everybody they can see.
Well, that's what finance stands for. I mean, that's why they both start with F.
True. Fair point. That is a fair point. Yeah.
Actually, let's see. Finance. Fin fucking A N anyone.
Uh,
Nonce. Fucking any nonce.
Yeah, I could go with that.
Oh, not bad metaphor. Like off the dome as we're we have what no love for Secretary of Industry. What is there such a that's just like the cheap capitalist then if there's such a like a position of that sort of thing.
I'm sure there used to be a Secretary of Industry, but there isn't in the industry anymore. So
Let's see, there's the Bureau of Industry and Security.
Yeah,
There's
I
the
mean,
industry
like,
minister in somewhere.
yeah. I mean, like with the U.S. presidents, they can create any like secretary of like whatever, something like that, any departments.
We
Like,
have the
it happens all the
Secretary of
time.
Commerce, and then we have the
Yeah, we do
Undersecretary of Commerce for Industry and Security.
Yeah, so like,
yeah.
again, the like chief capitalist, as it were, or chief capitalist representative of the government.
Yes, Jordan. Right now, the ocean are where the rich go to die. Soon, we will rebuild. Damn it, I don't have my beep up.
You know, I have your now, remember, Starfleet Revolution 46A, no uncoded messages over open channels. Yeah, they should have gone under in
Yeah, they
2008,
should.
like John Burns. But like, what about the economy? Again, the economy is like first and foremost in that sort of thing too. And that was not the first time that like we had that was the most significant crash we had in like 2008. But I also had the .com bubble in like 2000 as well. I mean, again, some people, not all everyone, but some people got bailed out at that one too. Let's see. There's no dying. That's the rule around here. No dying.
Unless you're
Well, yes, unless you're a billionaire, as we're. Oh, okay. Yeah, here's another one about the Supreme Court that they did. Especially like Samuel Alito ruled against like the EPA and something like that. Or just like basically rule in favor of like oil drillers and stuff like that. While his wife has like stake in an oil drilling company, as it were. Again, it's just like not that we are surprised to hear this, as it were, but like all the politicians and the Supreme
impeach
Court
the
just
fucker. I know it's not
Yes.
going to happen because the poor man's Keir Starmer is in charge of the House.
Oh,
Wait a minute, the House of the Republican Party? It's like
Yes.
He managed to get that position. He had to
After
like try
like
really
14
hard.
votes, wasn't it?
Yes, and so it's just like, so I forgot I don't even know who the guy is, and like, I don't want to know honestly because like any like
Kevin McCarthy, that's his name.
Kevin, yeah. I don't know. It's like I at least got an impression of Paul Ryan, just like a smarmy ass young like a conservative that like somehow is a fan of like Rage Against the Machines. And then there was Newt Gingrich. I remember, just like God. It was like it was bad enough to like the sectarianism, even though there's not much of one from where I can see it. It was like already like there, but then it just got widened further and more obstruction from Newt Gingrich and that sort of thing too. Even though like Bill Clinton himself was a conservative. Blah. What do you call an imploded something that implodes? A good start, I guess so. Yeah. So what's happening since like John Burns has been bringing up what's happening in France? It's not another French Revolution. I don't think it will be like another French Revolution. But there's a headline
Let's
from
see what
Democracy
CNN
Now.
has to say. Probably nothing but good. What sparked the protest? A police officer shot dead a teenager, Nahel, who was of Algerian heritage, during a traffic stop. Oh, French cops are just as bad as ours. Well, not just.
Yeah.
and then they
Same.
lied about it. And that was the important part. They
Footage
then
of the
lied
incidents
about
captured
it.
by a passerby showed two officers standing on the driver's side of the car, one of whom discharged his gun at the driver despite not appearing to face any immediate threat.
Yeah.
The officer said he fired because he was scared the boy would run someone over with the car.
I mean, isn't that an argument for shooting every single fucking motorist
Yep.
in the world?
Yeah.
Just in case. Just in
Yeah.
case.
Protesters have been carrying signs that read "The police kill," and hundreds of government buildings have been damaged. Successive nights of violence across France and its overseas territories have in turn prompted French officials to launch a crackdown. Oh, with more than 40,000 police officers mobilized to patrol cities across the country. Fuck your face.
But this is an ongoing thing in France because
Yep.
it started with the
Yo,
rioting over the pensions,
Mhm.
and been ongoing. So all in
Global
all,
revolution.
Hmm.
we
Probably
can
not.
but hope.
Hmm. They're burning down mayors' houses and mayors who ordered the
Mm,
police to like do the job. Of course they would. Well, that's the thing with like it's what you will about the French is where when they riot, they know their targets is where it's always it's the governments and buildings and like mayors to give orders to the police and that sort of thing too. I
yeah.
mean, even in Seattle when like again
Officers were
this
given
happened.
powers to quell riots, make arrests, and restore Republican order, French Interior Minister Gérald Darmanin said. Overseas French
That's
territories have also witnessed violent protests. A man was killed by a stray bullet in Cayenne, capital of the French Guiana, during riots on Thursday. I love that they put stray bullet in quotes. CNN. A man was killed by a stray bullet. It's almost like they're. I wonder if this is this guy a comrade? Who wrote this? Sana Norhak. I don't know. Oh no, it's written by multiple people.
yeah.
Joshua Bellinger, Tara John, Barry Nield, and Jalfei Zhu. Somebody
Yeah.
put those quotes in there. God bless
So yeah, that it's so yeah, I don't a revolution of some kind. Of definitely a protest and like ongoing one, and there's going to be lots of things. It's kind of like how like Portland was like had like ongoing protests like on and off again in the summer of 2020 and that sort of thing too. To which like Trump like they sent like borders patrols or border like officers to just like pick people off in like in vans and stuff like that, tear gassing people of course, so like it's kind of like almost more of the same that's happening in France, but like yeah the police officer killed like a 17-year-old and that sparked like the protests and that sort of thing too, and which is I think rightfully should happen every time that like the police like unlawfully kill something or do something horrible like Sarah Everard in like UK as well. That was a horrible like thing too.
Yeah.
I am guessing that the very center of Paris is full of rich people. I'm guessing
Yeah.
that based on this map of the violent unrest around France. Let's see. Let's make sure.
You gave Mithril Liverpool again.
Yes, I did.
Of course.
Um,
Wouldn't he?
so
Cruel
let's
and unusual punishment.
see. It's not both cruel and unusual. It has to be both. It's not unusual. I do it every time. All right. So as you can see from this map of riots, there are none in central Paris. So
Yep.
that tells me that Paris is full of rich assholes.
Yeah.
We don't have Julie here, so we cannot confirm.
Uh, no, and actually, what happened, like Julie, is like, yeah, I won't share any of the details, but like anyone who's Facebook friends can like, no, Mithril can tell you like in DMs or something like that. Because yeah, it should be like a happy occasion, as it were, but the government is like fucking things up for like her and her partner as well. Uh, just all because like the official reasons that like he is not French, but everyone in the knows that's like no, it's because he's brown, and I think I'll leave it at that. You want to protest the direct actions and waves that allows you to maintain it indefinitely and disrupt the like machine. The uncertainty and constant like disruption really freaks the system. I definitely agree. How many republics have like
Reich
been
is
in
more
like
like
France?
regime.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Um,
German Republic is just a republic. I mean,
yeah, it's tries to notice it. I don't know how many like republics that Germany has. Like way too many, honestly. But
how many republics have there been in France? There's quite a few. I mean, there was French Revolution, there was a republic, then there was Napoleon, then there was a republic, then there was a Republican monarchy.
yeah.
Yeah, well, matter.
I mean, and yet here, this country for the past 200 years is all the same. The Kama Sutra scholar passes around the managing in coffee and is like, I think I know who you are. The sex scholar is, or hello. Uh, but yeah, so yeah, it's that's some of the major headlines that like happened this week. We'll see what else is kind of happened in this week as we're, oh. Elon Musk, it shows that he's not an engineer whatsoever on Twitter because he's now limiting the number of tweets that people can see.
Of course.
I forgot, like,
Yeah, I saw about that.
is sure make your site worse, as it were, for even the people that like love to use it. Okay, yeah. So it's like from yesterday to address, as Elon Musk said on Twitter, to address extreme levels of data scraping and system manipulations, we have applied the following temporary limits. Verified accounts are limited to reading 6,000 posts a day. Unverified accounts to 600 posts a day. New unverified accounts, 300 a
Make
day.
my web platform useless.
Yes.
Did you also see he's banned the word cis and
Cisgenders.
cisgendered? I mean, not that he's trying to demonstrate his bias at all, much, really.
Yeah. And yeah, I know some people that like are just like, hey, I think like well, this was like years ago. I think like Elon Musk is cool. He smoked weed on like on Joe Rogan. I brought up how he said, "We'll coup whoever we want, deal with it." On a deleted the tweets before.
Yeah.
And I wonder if like, and with like what the tweet said, like people that Elon Musk has been liking, that people have mentioned, it's just like I don't understand how people can like not say that he's not a fascist or anything like that. But then again, I heard last night on a stream that my friend was a part of, that like say we will about like Trump, so where at least he does something, unlike Sleepy Joe Biden.
Oh God, that nonsense again.
I don't know this person's political affiliation, as it were, like centrist. I don't know, but it's just like he's having a problem with like sleepy think Sleepy Joe Biden is like sleepy, and like Donald Trump at least does something. That's almost like saying like, hey, Trump was good for the memes, for dank memes. And my friend said like, yeah, Trump wants me dead, as like Joe Biden doesn't want me dead. That's at least something. Uh, uh, why are you biting? Come on, what?
They're like cats. Cats just bite.
Uh, so yeah, that's what that happened there. That's what happened there. I'm trying to remember if like anything else. But I agree. It's like ignorance, honestly. That's what I'm calling it.
Ignoramus.
Ignoramus. Yes. Mike Pence is like running for like a president. Not surprising. That's not news.
He will never win. He has the charisma of a chair.
God.
Just, yeah, exactly. I don't love Biden either, but at least at least he's not as much of a fascist for sure as like Trumpists were.
He
That
didn't
liberals.
shut down the concentration camps, but he did stop the forcible sterilizations being publicized.
There's some things he's trying to do, and like, but like, there's a lot of things.
He's not forgiving student loans. He's forgiving $10,000 in student loans.
Yeah,
And he's making sure that you can't get taxed for it.
Unless
the
again,
Republicans change their tax laws to make sure that you can get taxed for it.
yeah.
I mean, or that was last year, so it's already happened. But you get what I mean.
That's a fair point, Lucy. Yeah, like as like Biden like increased the budgets for all the police departments federally as way more than like Trump did, and
He doesn't actively want you dead. Maybe. He's Catholic?
Is a choice between a barely cooked plain chicken breast and a broken glass laden pile of like a steaming hot manure.
That is a very good description, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think the difference between Joe Biden and Trump is that like one is obviously dangerous, and the other one can cause you. I can obviously try to a little harder to go against like the systems. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think some of us have been arguing that ever since Biden stood, and you know, he ain't good. He's not good.
Yep.
He's less.
But he's not acting evil.
We now have the same argument in the UK.
He's an int rather than an orc.
At least Starmer isn't the Tories. Well, he came out and said he was a fucking Tory the other week, which is just wonderful for us. He's thrown out a chap who is a centrist in the Labour Party now.
Like actual
Because,
centrist or centrist between the Labour and the Tory?
well, a centre left is
Okay.
what they call him.
So, like,
So,
what's his name? The guy who was kicked out for hating the Jews.
yeah,
Corbyn, yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, Corbyn was definitely much more left wing than.
And he wasn't actually an anti-Semite. That was just...
I saw
No,
him
of
with
course
like
he
a.
bloody wasn't. There
I
were
saw.
4 years of the British press every other single bloody day. He's just an anti-Semite. No, he isn't. Shut the fuck up. Grow up.
But come on, Mifrol, they have him with has a Russian hat on and with like the Kremlin in the background in one photo.
Yeah,
Wait,
well,
no, that means that he's a Jew. Commie equals
Yeah.
Jew.
Boris Johnson went to a private party after ditching his security outfit to go and to a private party that was organised by a former KGB agent and his son. So, you know what? I don't remember the British press having a whinge about that.
Well, because he
Yeah.
obviously is an anti-Semite. Therefore, he can't be a Jew.
Oh, yeah. Again, we're back to Eton and Oxford. It's bred into them to be anti-Semitic. So I know.
Hey, at least Boris Johnson didn't put his genitals on a dead pig.
As far as we know,
He probably did. He did tackle a
don't-
little.
we don't know how many children Boris Johnson actually has. The chances of him not putting
Oh, I
his
thought that sentence was going to
genitalia
go in
a
a
dead
very
pig
different direction.
is slim.
I know that Boris Johnson did tackle like a 7-year-old girl or something like that in a rugby match one time.
He certainly did.
I seen the footage of it.
It's awful. It's. You know, if he was on the left, somebody would say, it was paedophilia.
Yeah,
But he's not the left, so it's okay. He's on the right.
it's
He's all right. That.
It's what, I mean, this is always how happens. This is word. The people, I mean, Benjamin Dixon says this all the time. The people who come out that he also noted that there was like one TikTok that went viral. So the original person that put up TikTok took it down because it was like a pride celebration, and Benjamin Dixon also learned it's like we're here, we're queer, we're not shopping, as it were. That's what all the people at Pride were saying, as it were.
Yeah.
And he was wondering why is that? It's hilarious. I quickly knew it's like, oh, that's a good chant against rainbow capitalism. That sort of Benjamin Dixon did his own research to come in after that. But what the TikTok kind of implied and what the right wing, the fascist media just ran with, it's there was one lady standing in front of the cell phone camera, and the guy holding the cell phone camera and said, "We're here, we're queer, and we're here to take your kids."
What? Yeah, because that sounds just like shopping. If you're batshit insane, yeah.
So they kind of ran with that narrative of at least in respect to the guy who posted TikTok video, he took it down once it was someone stitched it and corrected it, and it was proven wrong. So there's that at least. But the fascist media still ran with it because the narrative of drag is going to indoctrinate kids or be pedophiles and something like that. When actually, as Benjamin Dixon pointed out, you know who's more likely to be pedophiles and be a danger to your kids? Religious
Priests.
Christian men and priests and stuff like that, almost routinely, not just what happened in the Boston area with the Catholic Church and stuff like that. Even though the Catholic Church was I don't know, it's I don't know if they have many mistakes recently, but they have a rape culture over the Catholic Church as an organization, as it were.
Well, it's something like 95% of abuse is done by a member of either the family or somebody known to the family, isn't it? So,
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
This ongoing nonsense is just that. It's nonsense. I'm sure John is similar. I got to know quite a lot about this sort of stuff when the satanic panic of the late 80s, early 90s was going on. And the more you
Let's be
read
honest.
into
There's
it, the
always
more
a
you
satanic panic. It's that sometimes the news reports on.
yeah.
Mhm.
It was
Yeah.
the D&D one, that
Mm.
time around.
Yeah.
And it's you hear them saying pretty much exactly the same sort of stuff, to be quite honest. They're
Mhm.
just rinse and repeat this
Yep.
nonsense.
Yep.
Good news, Mithril. You're no longer
Hmm.
a Liverpool supporter.
Well, that's good.
Arsenio?
I,
Arsenal.
oh
Arsenal.
God, why? Why would you do that to me?
Because John Brockman is
Because I looked up
John.
Man City's main rivals, and don't worry, I've got a few more in the wings.
Is and yet it's like also this catching up on some like the VAR media is a word like I remember it's like maybe it was like weeks ago like the mayor or like a MP in like the northern prefecture for labor or something like that was like disbarred or removed and like can't even like run for elections there just because he supports like Jeremy Corbyn as it were and it's
Yep.
it's a centrist conservative labor leadership as well, just going after anyone that's left wing in the Labor Party.
The official reason they went after him is that he shared a platform with one of our greatest film directors, a man called Ken Loach,
Yep, he's awesome. I Daniel Blake is a great movie. I recommend
who is a
people see it.
brilliant. He made Cares, he made all these wonderful movies, and the Corbynistas were upset about it. The Starmerites were upset about it because for almost all his life, Ken Loach has stood up for the Palestinian people.
Mm-hmm.
And the mayor of Newcastle and Tyneside, who's a brilliant guy called Jamie Driscoll, by the way, went to a film festival where they were premiering Coach's latest and possibly his last film.
Yeah, he's 83, so he's up there.
Because he said, I talked to him about films. But
Yeah.
when he shared the platform, Jamie Driscoll has been accused by the Labour Party of being an anti-Semite and kicked out. And
Mm-hmm. All because he never challenged Ken Loach on his like anti-Semitism in this war. Why did you challenge Ken?
Yeah, well,
Because
why
he
the
was
fuck
talking
should he?
about...
He's right. Ken Loach is right. As usual, Ken Loach is right.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it here. Mithril does not like Jewish people. He thinks they smell funny.
I'm one
Fuck you, John. Fuck you.
I am 1/8 Jewish, but yeah.
See, earlier in the chat,
But it doesn't count because it's on my dad's side.
Oh, that's right. It's only if your mother's Jewish, so you're automatically Jewish no matter what. So we're yeah.
Well, I mean, according to Israel, I think they've relaxed that. If you're white.
Right. See, it mentioned earlier the conversation about like Biden versus like Trump and like who's better as were or the Biden has got the stopped schools for oppressing trans kids executive order passed, but also gave schools a loophole to basically ignore it completely and not even on like religious basis. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I was not surprised that he compromise on the Thuggen kids with that as well because Biden is often compromised with the Thuggen kids when he wants to or
John Burns, if they did kick Johnny, they stopped speaking to Johnny Rotten because he kept talking about Jimmy Savile.
Mm-hmm. See, that's an happen after these and not anyone wouldn't like to say you conserve or anything like yeah. It's like, that's right. Oh man, it's I don't know. I remember hearing about like in the Democracy Now piece about like affirmative action and how they like find like the people who like wanted to like to get rid of affirmative action found like Asian American like students as were who felt we were discriminated because of affirmative action as were, and it's just like I don't know, it's just like again the fascists using Asian people for like as their scapegoats or for like and starting the process as were,
The model
and that's right.
minority. See, they can do it. Why can't black people? Because they're inferior.
And that's remind us. It's kind of convenient we have you on, Mithril, as well. In 2 days, this country, the country John and I happen to be like born in, are going to celebrate the birth of our country when we said "fuck you"
They were
to
celebrating
King George.
last night.
Yeah, they were celebrating last night
Lots
too.
of PTSD triggers for people and scaring of animals.
Yes.
Oh, but let's see. I was driving yesterday. I drove through a massive rainstorm. And I picked up a guy in a small town that was holding a Trump rally. According to him, 30,000 people, which I kind of doubt. Because there's no way that town could accommodate 30,000 extra people. But they got hit really hard, that town. You know, branches down everywhere, power was out. I mean, even the streetlights were out. I wonder how many Christians are going to claim that that's God's wrath upon the town for supporting Trump.
Ooh. I'm going to guess it's closer to 0 than anything else.
Yeah. Let's see. You know,
I mean, it's coming over here now. It is coming over here. I mean, I know we exported turfiness to start with, but it is the sort of anti-bathroom stuff and all the rest of it is actually starting to come over here. Yet again, I'm going to have to bring this wretched woman's name up, Cruella Braverman. Is she's trying to introduce a trans bill. So, you know, she's a vile piece of work, I'm afraid. You know, she's absolutely awful. You know, I mean, we call her Cruella for a very good reason. You know, quite easily imagine her slaughtering pups without a doubt. And it's bizarre because her parents were immigrants themselves, and yet she absolutely hates immigrants with a passion. So,
yeah.
Well, what you need to do is you should buy.
I lost you, John. Can't hear you, mate. Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. Yeah, damn right. You're right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, John Burns. When are you going to apologize for the wildfires that is like sending ash down into the northeast of like USA? As the USA is an exporter of state-sponsored bigotry and genocide. Yeah.
Yep.
It's true. You
I mean,
didn't
we inherited that from the
didn't-
British, so I blame.
I was going to say, you didn't need to leave the British to get that, you know.
It's just, you know, whatever empire is in power, that's what they do, because that's what empires are for.
Yeah, and even with like even whereas like the Northeast and many parts of the country like have not experienced it's like now it's like the Northeast like when Canada and stuff like that. When last year or a year before it's just like it was California with like the red sun and all, or like in Washington State is where again Seattle. I never experienced like ash fall in Seattle until like years ago with the wildfires. Again, when our temperate rainforest caught on fire. Yeah, but it's just like you would hope that like with all these evidence of like global warming like affecting like the strange weather patterns of this sort of thing too, like those bushfires in Australia or something like that. It's just like, well, no, the rich and like people, well, the fascists on like Fox News with Nazi Bobby Laura and Ingram are just like, yeah, so woke leftists causing all this stuff. It's just like I don't even remember how they got to that conclusion, but it's just like, oh right, the woke left were telling them to just like mask up again, or just like and insulting them. It's just like, nope, not even when like the forest fires are right outside the door, so they think that oh maybe we should do something about this, like global warming and stuff like that. Nope, it's like fuck you, I got mine. The UK has been like an exporter of racist sentiment and hate for a while. Yeah, it's
Certainly
like,
has.
mhm.
Certainly has.
Yeah, it definitely is a feature of imperialist policy. Yeah, yes, I agree.
It's one of the
We,
ways they maintain
me,
control at home and abroad.
me and a friend of mine sat outside a coffee shop on last Saturday, and it was the Pride Parade in Lancaster,
Hmm.
and this chap who I guess was about my age, maybe a little bit older, so ancient, came
Hmm.
up and started going on about you lot aren't these multiple alphabet people, are you?
You
What?
should have invited him to sit on your lap.
Well, true. I'm just here for a coffee. Will you please fuck off?
That's a weird way to start a conversation. That's where
Yeah, it,
no, that some. Go ahead.
it was obviously causing him so much upset that the people were out. I mean, it's a shame, I could have sat there and waited for him to have a aneurysm, I suppose, and then done nothing.
Yeah. So let me get this straight. You have a problem with me because I might be queer, and like you haven't even confirmed that I'm queer or not. I
Oh yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah.
John Burns said, when the premier of Ontario does that, Ontario is an industrial province, right? When the smoke comes from the east, revenge for acid rain. No, there's that. Nature finds a way. So yeah, in 2 days will be Fireworks Day or Red, White, and Blue Day. Fires out here in like southern Alberta. Ask Indigenous friends to pray for rain in Seattle. Thankfully, actually, like May has been hotter than June so far, actually, and now that we're in July, so like it'll probably get hotter because like June somehow we like got like decent amount of like rain and like cloudy days and like even 60-degree temps like days, and like I was surprised, but like thankful and surprised. But now it's July, so like who knows? Uh, and interesting about like Red Riding Blue Day and Fireworks Day is that like imagine many of the local cities around here have like laws against that. It's just a fine though, so it's just like it depends if they actually like enforce it and
Give money to the
like
local government in support of the 4th of July.
but like our apartment does have rules against it. I'm not sure if they're going to enforce it. It's just me like another day where it's just like I'm just like I'm spending less and less money like on myself. So I used to would buy fireworks, but now it's just like no, screw it. I do enjoy blowing stuff up though, but I'm like, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we should
I
remember
wonder
all
how
tech
we can
areas.
use
So
fireworks to take down the U.S. government.
I
We
would
have 2 days to find out.
It's Starfleet Revelation 46A. No encoded messages over open channels.
Look, I think firecrackers could be a successful communist revolution in 2 days. It could happen.
We will still go with Molotov cocktails, freedom potions. Or at least I want to like throw one in one time, but I'll probably like burn myself as well.
4th of July, torture your
Yes,
pets in your beds.
Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I want to like share one thing that happened like this like or 4th of July, also known as Torture Pets Day. Yeah, exactly. Um, well, it's kind of strange to blame Canada. So we're well, not strange because like South Park did a whole song about it. Blame Canada and all. And was even nominated. I have one pet that's like going to be checking on. That's good. This happened earlier in the month, but I want to talk about it since I am a Twitch streamer as well. So that person has a tweet there. If you can't see it though, July is a Disability Pride Month. Yes, well, let's all celebrate that. Contact question.
Definitely.
I have to
Yeah.
remember that. Yes, absolutely. Um, so Twitch, like earlier this month, I don't know if I talked about this or earlier last month, I should say, did a thing. Twitch has some branded like content guidelines. Where on-stream logo can no longer be limited to 3% of the screen size. Burn-in video ads are not allowed. Burn-in display ads are not allowed, and burn-in audio ads are not allowed. But basically, if you're a streamer, you cannot have like any of all branded stuff on your streams, as it were, unless it's through Twitch, new like branded thing sort of thing. So basically, while the streamer is just like, "Hey, all right, we're going to like load up some like Fortnite games, but first, let's talk about our sponsor, TurboTax. It's
Not allowed
tax
to do
season right now.
that.
At least
So
when they set up
basically,
this,
they're making it so that you can't make money off Twitch.
unless you go through Twitch's own new like added like sponsorship thing. So
And
basically,
presumably will take a cut.
yes, Twitch wanted a cut of it, but the
So they're limiting the utility of their platform to make more money, but they'll make less money because fewer people will be using their platform.
Twitch just like not that long ago has finally in like May finally got like alerts, Twitch alerts, and this thing is like all streamers, serious streamers do have all the alert system, but it's from a third party like Streamlabs or Stream Elements as it were. It's one of those things where like yeah, Twitch doesn't know their own platform. I think there's like one alert that's actually kind of like useful that like because like no other like the third party softwares or third party like I don't have like access to that. Oh, I should just
I
open up
think Twitch has also lost quite a few of their streamers because they increased their share of the cut of any income raised, didn't they, to
Wouldn't surprise me.
50%?
well, they finally. Well, it's like first of all on the branded content thing to Twitch walked that back. They kind of like they said, "Ooh, we missed the mark." Twitch Lucky Bun like replied to that and said, "What mark were you trying to hit?"
Yeah.
So so after the backlash against like the branded like content thing, they kind of like walked it all back and like it's and said oopsie as it were, almost like what Watsy did with the like open like license things at D&D. But like no, so yeah, Twitch has a new like a partner plus program. But it's only again, first of all, you have to be partnered, which is really difficult to do for many streamers because like the first two requirements are actually kind of easy. It's just like stream 12 different times a day and stream for like 24 hours in like a 30-day period, those in 30-day periods, but then have uh average viewers of 75 for the 30-day period. That's the more difficult part. But also, even if you do get partners, it's not a guarantee you get eligible to be partner. Kevin Logan has been trying to get partner for several times, and it's pretty much because like in order to be partner on Twitch, you are going to be like basically ambassador for Twitch or representative of Twitch. So like Twitch is kind of like actually kind of careful about that. But yeah, the John Burns, as you mentioned, Kick.com came along. Okay, the John Burns. The reason I Kick.com is now here, which is pretty much just Twitch. It's just like a inefficient or like a less version of Twitch. It's just a copy paste Twitch, but just out all the features is where I'm not sure they probably have a mobile app now. I'm not sure if it's on Xbox or PlayStation those were, but it's like the new Twitch. And here's the thing: is the reason why Kick is now here is because like Twitch finally got kicked off like slots or gambling, straight up gambling, and stuff like that. Poker might still be on Twitch, as it were, but straight up gambling is no longer going to be on Twitch. It's kicked off, is where banned and that sort of thing. And so Kick is funded entirely by like a gambling website. And so that Kick is just a way for that gambling website to advertise its like an online slots, internet slots, and that sort of thing too, and other gambling and other things too. And so that's why Kick doesn't even care if it like they make money and that sort of thing too, because it's all for like advertisements, that sort of thing. A lot of people, some people go over the Kick because like one thing, yes, it's like 95.5. The Kick only gets 5% of the sub, and the sub is like the same amount, like $5, so just like on Twitch, at least US. It's different for like each region. Well, with Twitch is still 50-50, unless you get into the Partner Plus program, which I'll explain later. Or I'll explain right now that like for the Partner Plus program, again, we're the only partners, you have to have like 350 recurring sub payments, as it were. So it does include Prime, which is fine. It doesn't include gift subs. It's because they have to be 350 recurring and for 3 days. 3 months as it were. And like the partner plus that's and once you finally reach that goal, you can be put into the partner plus program, and that's where it's like finally after all that and hello Wesley, you will get like a 70-30 split as where the streamer gets 70% of the sub while the Twitch gets like 30%. So finally, kind of like there's like at least a change in like the revenue split and that sort of thing too. Well, yeah, many people see like kick.com is just like, hey, it's 95.5 is where, but also, which is why I don't like to go onto the kick, is like there's less rules to that sort of thing too. It's not so much like the kick is kind of like the gab to it kicks to Twitch like gabs to Twitter or that sort of thing too. Because now Twitter's worse, or Twitter's just almost as bad since Elon Musk took over as we're. I don't even know if like Gab or Paul are still there, except for like the rare Nazis that still got kicked off like Twitter. But that's the sort of thing why some people like they're going to kick because of like the lacks of rules and stuff like that. Some streamers just like would just like watch a whole movie because there's no like copyright infringement or like MCDA on like a kick so far yet, and so it's kind of like a watch party. But it's just like that's true. Although I had a great Friday night watching a woman stream a bunch of casino games, but like more followers are flocking over to the kick. Okay, so but the thing is, John Burns, I agree with like what like one streamer that I watch, Evolve Jake. He's just a Fortnite content creator, so that's why I watch him. But I think I agree with like Evolve Jake or see his point that like Kick is going to have a problem. Is that like the most of the people that are on Kick are also streamers that want to be successful at streaming. That's the problem Mixer had. Mixer had its problems, but it was a fine platform for people who use Mixer. But there was a lot of things that Mixer didn't do and wasn't listened to as streamers. Then part of the reason why I failed, like you couldn't gift subs on like Mixer as well, which you can do on Twitch. Better or worse, you can't do that on Twitch. I think YouTube now is starting to do that.
Yeah, you can with YouTube. Yeah.
But like Mixer never got over that. Like the people who are on Mixer are also streamers that want to be streamers, successful streamers as well. While it's with Twitch, people are on Twitch because they want to watch like a streamer streams on Twitch as well. Or it's I don't know if there will ever be a point where it's just like there are more people on Twitch that also are streamers and want to make money in streaming and doing the grind on like Twitch, as opposed to like people who are viewing on Twitch. But also like Volvajake showed this like a screenshot, like 76% of the viewership on Twitch is of the top 5,000 like streamers on Twitch worldwide. There's like millions and millions and millions of streamers on Twitch worldwide. And so the 24% is just everyone else split across the millions and millions of streamers. Evolve Jake, he's like 19,000 in the world. And like he's still a small streamer. He's partnered, so he gets like regularly 100 viewers each day when he streams Fortnite somewhere. But like he's not like a Cypher PK that gets like sometimes in 4,000 or 2,000 or 1,000 sort of thing too. Oh, so yeah, the majority that it's just almost like the 80-20 rule in business and poker and that sort of thing too, except that like it's a 1% that gets all the views and stuff like that. And so it's just Twitch is just like capitalism again, all over again, as we said before. So yeah. Me rambling on about like streamer news as well, because I wanted to like I mentioned a couple of those things. What else was like Twitch was doing? And since I'm now on that topic as well. Oh yeah. This is also a new thing that they've like done. Where it used to be where it's just like, no, I don't want to copy text, I want to copy the link. Here's the tweet about like the new like mature content warning labels and that sort of thing too. Remember an episode of Who's on Anyway where someone suggested Hillary and Bill Cosby as a skit idea back when Bill Cosby was more popular than Hitler? Oh, the Hitler and Bill Cosby. Yeah. I don't actually. I think the like executives like put a kibosh on that because you can't make fun of Hitler on Who's Line Is It Anyway. And I was just like, no, make fun of Hitler. It's okay to make fun of Hitler. Mel Brooks is Jewish, and he wrote the producer, Springtime for Hitler.
That is a bizarre. Yeah, that it just doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
I mean, the point's made up, and everything's made up. The points don't matter whose line it's anyway. Which watching the '90s version of it, most of the times it's funny, but then the 20% of the times or 10% of the time there'll be like a gay joke and a trans joke, and it's just like, ooh, that doesn't age well. But the '90s.
I don't think it age well, but there you go.
Yeah. So anyway, so I mentioned about like so now like as before, like the streamers would like set their streams to be for mature audiences, not, and all that means is just like before you start watching it, it will be a thing on the says it's like, oh, this streamer has set the stream to be mature audiences. Do you want to start watching? And that's about it. And it could be for whatever reason. It doesn't give you an explanation of like why and something like that. But now it's just like one thing is that they're now automatically doing it if the game you're playing is mature rated, and I think that's totally fair, honestly. Is to which surprised my friend Linequin because like they can which it one thing but Lineker was kind of surprised at that because like they were playing Fallout 4. To which I said, "Isn't Fallout 4 a mature rated game?" And they were like, "Is it?" And she had to look it up, and she's like, "I thought it was like teen rated."
All it has is murder. There's no tits.
Take care, Carmen Sutra.
Take care, conversation. Yeah. Later, thank you for dropping in and saying hi. If it, now it's just like the Linequin is kind of like shows what her tolerance for things are because she grew up watching horror movies when she was like a teenager or early teens, and so it's the blood in Fallout 4. Yes, there's sex in it. Linequin had sex with a roboplane on stream. I got a clip of it, but like it faded to black.
Didn't speaking of showbiz or semi-showbiz, didn't Roseanne Barr have some sort of fucking meltdown this week as well?
Yeah. Oh, this week? That wouldn't surprise me.
Well, you know, another one. You know,
I don't know about recently. I know that she was a pizza gator, which really did. Which, if you know about the politics of like her,
nothing recent, just a racist tweet. Her show got canceled 5 years ago.
Yeah, that was like 5 years ago. Yeah.
She got a podcast removed from YouTube for hate speech.
There's that. Okay. It's so similar to like what Scott Adams as well. The words like Scott Adams is just like, "Thank you, Scott Adams. You canceled yourself." What's wrong with the phrase? It's okay to be white. Oh man, it's just like this is black supremacy. It's just no, Scott Adams, you really don't know. Oh, you Trumper, as or again, the reason why it's okay to be white is the thing is because it's a dog whistle.
During a guest appearance on comedian Theo Vaughn's This Past Weekend podcast, Barr made jokes about the Holocaust. The podcast was removed. 2.5-hour interview was released on June 14th, but went viral on Tuesday because of a segment with Barr and Vaughn discussing internet misinformation policies. After condemning claims that the 2022 election was rigged, okay, so she's not completely delusional. That's a point in her favor, which is sad that that's how low the bar has to be. Former Roseanne Barr attempted a sarcastic anti-Semitic rant to make her point. There's such a thing as truth and facts, and we have to stick to it, and that is the truth. And nobody died in the Holocaust either. That's the truth. It should happen. 6 million Jews should die right now because they cause all the problems in the world, but it never happened. Bad idea.
Yeah, no, that's it.
This Roseanne Barr clip was sarcasm, folks. A clip taken out of a long, sarcastic rant she had during our chat. Can we not recognize sarcasm anymore? Okay, as a person who routinely says inflammatory things that shouldn't be taken seriously, I understand.
How many times have you been zooked and banned from Facebook for 30 days?
For threatening to steal someone's cat because it's just that cute. I mean, the fact is, was she really being sarcastic? Because it's Roseanne Barr.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I agree. Like around Hollywood, everything is awful there, and that's the thing. So, and that's again, remember that's what like how Gina Carano also like got kicked off, like got fired from like Disney as well because like she said that the Republicans are being like more persecuted than the Jews, and it's just like, oh, that's just an awful take. Apparently, that all started because she didn't want to put pronouns in her like profile as well, and yet she got canceled because of that.
Roseanne Barr, but I think that she was thinking that Trump actually won to believing the Holocaust was a lie.
Yeah, I actually can.
That sounds like what she was trying to do.
Yeah, is now. Here's the thing. Like, so Whoopi Goldberg, like I think a year ago or something like that, um, made a mistake. She later admitted to made a mistake, and that like the Holocaust was not about like race or anything like that or racism, because just like crimes against crimes. But then someone provided a quote to like Whoopi Goldberg saying that like no, Hitler actually said that he wanted to destroy the Jewish race and that sort of thing too. So here you go. She so was proven wrong and apologized for that. And in fact, the author of Mouse, that book, that the children's book that was like being
Yep.
removed from like schools and school libraries because of nudity and stuff like that,
No, I
he's
think it was
actually
being
said,
removed because it was telling the truth about the Holocaust.
"Oh yeah, exactly. The nudity was the excuse." But he said like, no. Whoopi Goldberg should not. She was suspended for 2 weeks for that comment that she said on the air, and so on. But yet the author of Mouse said Whoopi Goldberg should not have been suspended for that. She made a mistake, yes, but like we're human, we're capable of mistakes. But she recognized her mistake when she was corrected on it and apologized for that. And so you know, you're not going to be canceled for just one mistake, something like that. One thing if you own up to it and like recognize it, there you go. And like in members of the community that's affected, like they can say like accept apologies and that sort of thing too as well.
Now, she should be canceled for defending Roman Polanski.
Yes, absolutely. Again, the fact that when we say like a pedophile filmmaker, we have to distinguish which pedophile filmmaker because there's more than one. Let's see.
And then, obviously, Roseanne Barr's supporters are going to come out and point out they're both Jews, even though I don't think they're both Jews.
It's like, yeah. It mentioned who's on earlier in comedy from the 90s. Yes, that's right. Contact rights. Colin Mock is the importance of his like a trans kid, which is something. And that's why I think like Colin Mock for sure. Maybe the others ones they probably would regret those gay jokes and the trans jokes that they made then in the 90s because it was the 90s and like which is where we can learn and grow. Again, James Gunn apologized for using the R slur 10 years ago or something like that, but someone dig that up, a Nazi dig that up to get him fired from Disney for like a
And
week.
they brought him back once they recognized the context and saw that people on the left were like, yeah, people learn and grow. The point is, you actually have to learn and grow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if like it's a bit or not. My favorite of hers in the 80s, there was like a news report about a woman who stabbed her husband like 30 times. We're not, and yeah. Let's see. What else is there to talk about?
Let's see. A couple of weeks back, Ron DeSantis tried to do a campaign thing via Twitter's new video, like Zoom style thing with Elon Musk, and it completely flopped.
Yes.
Because Twitter
God,
couldn't roll that shit out right.
It was absolutely beautiful.
It was like an hour of no video or no audio or both.
Yeah. It was a thing of joy, was that. It really it
couldn't happen
me
to a
up
better
knowing.
Nazi.
Yeah, exactly.
And because it's 2023, the year before a presidential election, there's like this time the primaries are happening on the Republican side. So it's now it's like which terrible, awful person is going to be like going to make Biden look good in comparison.
And the
Do you-
right
do
are
you
going
not
to storm
think
out
there'll
and
be-
support.
Yeah. Do you not
What's
think
that?
there'll be anybody on the Democrat side tries to stand against Biden or not?
I think we'll get a few people like what's her name, Marianne Williamson, the Globe lady.
Yeah, yeah.
Again.
I mean, we'll get a few. I don't think there'll be any serious contenders. I mean, I know
No.
Cornel West has thrown his hat
Yeah.
in, and, like not the Green Party, but
The People's
something.
Party.
The People's
Well,
Party.
it was a People's Party, but which Benjamin Dixon has like issues with because one thing, People's Party, it's like only 6 years old, and so it's
Yeah,
very
and,
new.
and all they're doing is running a presidential candidate, meaning it's just another scam like the Green Party has become.
Yeah, pretty much. Honestly, and the last candidate that like the People's Party tried to run, Jimmy Dore.
Oh.
Jimmy Dore, the guy who
No,
like
stop saying his
interviewed
name,
dude. He interviewed a Boogaloo boy and thinks like, hey, like, these people are just like they're
Let's see, I'm
they're
trying to
just
remember, wasn't he
misguided.
an anti-vaxxer?
I think so. Yeah, yeah. He was like one of those anti-maskers. Again, I remember like November 2019, 2018, or something like that. Long ago when like American Anarchist was like somewhat regularly doing like
Yes, he
live
was an
streams as it
anti-vaxxer.
were. I think so. Yeah, I think like Joe has like a video on like his anti-vax lies and spreading misinformation as well. So like I think that's accurate. But no, it's just like I think like the vegan manager Samantha was like thinking it's like, hey, how about we just get Jimmy Dore on our side to like promote leftists as well. Which Braun was shut that down. It's like, no, Jimmy Dore's too much of the dude, bro, like in the vein of like a Joe Rogan. Some people like Jimmy Dore because Richard Wolf interviewed
Oh,
Jimmy Dore.
yes. RFK Jr., who is, yeah, a few frogs short of a picnic, that one, or something.
Yeah, I remember Joe McClary about like RFK Jr. doing that, and it's just like, good luck, as or Lisa Candy. Maybe that's something. I don't know. As yeah, Jimmy Boris, some people, yeah,
Yeah,
that's a better half name. But again, he's just like interview a Boogaloo boy and thinks that like, no, they are nice people. Just like, no, don't platform Nazis, don't platform fascists, just don't. Oh, how is that so hard for leftists to do?
Well, Jimmy
Uh,
Dore's not a leftist.
Yeah, I agree. He's not leftist. He just like to yell at people and that sort of thing too.
I
speaking of
mean, he's
which,
left for the United States, but I mean,
for the rest
that's
of the
like
world,
saying
yeah,
you're Eastern for California. I mean,
true. I mean, speaking of that sort of thing, did you see the? I know you probably don't watch it. It's probably too fucking centrist. Did you see the business with Emma Vigland from the Majority Report doing the Tim Pool report, doing the Tim Pool interview?
no, it's just like
She ripped him one. She gave
oh,
him a very good walloping, and
gave
his
him the John
co-host.
Stewart treatment then.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It was. She did a very good job. You know, she stood her ground. There wasn't any messing around. Uh,
Well, that's because he's not rich and powerful.
and
I'm being
di-
cynical here, but
yeah, me too.
I doubt
And
she would do the same thing to Mitch McConnell.
and of course, because he'd lost the argument, he degenerated to calling her a paedophile. You know, so we all think, most of us who watched it think he was just sulking because she turned him down. He was desperate to get a date or something.
Oh god, Tin Pool. That
But she's brilliant. She's a really highly intelligent young woman. It's good to watch.
I mean, that's something I
Yes,
will give.
true, Joe. True. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something I will give Sam Cedar as well. Again, like a bit too centrist or like too far to the
Yeah,
right for my
he's all right.
politics.
He's Sam.
Yeah, but like when it's Marty have like seen Sam Cedar, like he would like actually challenge like conservatives and actually challenge these people as well. Sam Cedar always has like the facts behind him as well. I remember the time that like Steven Crowder was so scared to like debate like Sam
Yeah.
Cedar. So then Ethan Hunt H1N1, who I do have my problems with H1N1 and a couple of things. He doesn't understand feminism for one thing as well. But he like really actually like give it to like Steven Crowder, but like Steven Crowder agreed to do a debate with H1N1 because he thought like Ethan would be an easy one. So then Ethan just like pulled in Sam Cedar. So then like there was a was
Famous. Oh God, no! It's Sam Cedar. What a nightmare.
yep, and Steven Crowder told him Fred love. Again, remember Steven Crowder fascist too, because like yeah. I didn't remember that. I think Tim, my talking teacher, it's always like Tim Confacanda from on the majority report, or as a caller, that sort of thing too. So like, no, I think the majority report is it can be quite good and that sort of thing too. It's probably like if I'm wondering what is like happening like right or what the conservatives are doing and stuff like that, it's nice to like have that be through a filter of something like the majority report, so that it's just like they can they already know the bullshit that they were They believe in reform, but they're a good path to the left. Yeah, there's something to that as well too. Yeah, yeah.
Sam is very good at analytics. He's
Hmm.
very good at taking arguments to pieces and
Hmm.
That's why
destroy
people
and
like Steven
wrecking.
Crowder are scared of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See. Oh, and then speaking of like alternative like shows and other things, I forgot to mention this when we are talking about the affirmative action decision.
Oh,
Cenk Uygur has an interesting like comment. He kind of agreed with the Supreme Court that like I forgot his actual quote. I'm going to look up Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks, who's just like again like I never watched the Young Turks, but like I'm trying to find them on.
I watched him in the first couple of years of the Trump administration, but I moved further and further leftward since then.
Mm-hmm.
And he's
Okay.
a denier of the Armenian genocide. That's all I really remember.
Yeah, that was
Mhm.
always a big one, too. Yeah. Oh yeah. Here's what Cenk Uygur said. The Supreme Court say people can deny creative success based on their religious beliefs. So does that mean that people now refuse? No, wait, no, it's something else. Damn it! And that's not the
The
tweet I was
Supreme
looking
Court
for.
says people can deny creative services based on their religious beliefs. So does that mean that people can now refuse to serve bar mitzvahs and Eid celebrations, etc.? Certainly conservative Christians could have religious objections to serving other religions. Is that the one you're thinking of? I'm just looking at what he's posted on Twitter.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to like find the tweet as word because like no, there was like one that like oh wait, here it is. I found it. I think the Supreme Court got the affirmative action case right. I'm sick of the stereotypes that attach to all minorities because of this policy. It was necessary in the beginning, but it's become counterproductive. But legacy administration, which are more unfair and must also be banned. Okay, there's that. And here's the full explanation of why I believe this and what Anarcho thinks of the issue. Turn in live, blah blah blah. And then there was Anarcho who said, "Don't call, please, don't call me a person who menstruates or a person with uterus. Call me a woman." It's just like, okay, we can respect that.
You are
But
a woman, but you're also distinct from many other women who don't menstruate or don't have uteruses.
yes, and again, Anarcho it's where the reason why we use those terms, people menstruate and people with uteruses, because A is more inclusive, which is the main thing to include like trans men and like non-binary folks as well. But it's also more accurate because there are cis women without uteruses that don't menstruate and don't have like are not going to get pregnant unless a miracle happens or in like an immaculate conception. And so that's why we have those terms. And it's just like don't and it compares don't like play into the right's hands, please. Just don't. But so yeah, that's kind of like take from Cenk Uygur is just like it's why I'm glad I just never got into the Young Turks. I know some people like the Young Turks a lot, but it's just like
I think
something
you're moving
like
further to the left, Joe. I don't think they've really changed.
yeah, I don't think they changed it as well either. I mean, again, my friends kind of like were like watching from far and Cenk Uygur and think it's like, okay, yeah, Cenk Uygur seemed to be like a one of those liberals that claim to be a democratic socialist and that sort of thing too. But like Cenk Uygur would just like if he's a billionaire, he would so easily just like slide into the like billionaire role right then and there easily and that sort of thing too. He would just like feel comfortable in that role. Yes, he got Charlie Kirk to like yell at him. I live like a billionaire I look like a capitalist
I
every
live as a
day.
capitalist every day.
But when he like when it came out that like Cenk Uygur doesn't want his like employees to unionize, it's just like, oh fuck, come on. How can you call yourself a socialist if you're not going to allow your employees to unionize as well? Um, yeah, the same. Cedar's been good like that. I remember also one time, one clip that like Sam Cedar likes to do, or some he would say he get occasional like presidential candidates for the Libertarian Party, the Libertarian Party,
Oh, I
and
saw that one. That was brilliant.
it just again, just asking. So you believe in like a deeds for like private property and that sort of thing too? Yes, but you don't believe in the state. Oh no, there are like structures to that. How can you enforce the rights of those deeds? Just press that. He just pressed that presidential candidate for the Libertarian Party on that point to the point that he started yelling at Sam Cedar.
Yeah.
Ah, It's yeah, oh yeah, and Kevin Logan's actually quite good. It does like a good job on that sort of thing too. Not surprised about the transphobia from the Young Turks, and not too surprised honestly. Just remember that Dave Rubin started out on the Young Turks, but like left when he couldn't get like $1 million a year for like 1 hour work a week. But Dave Rubin got that from the Koch brothers, or I think it was Koch brothers, or
Yeah, it
some.
was.
Mhm.
And then he had a falling out with Benny Shabibu, didn't he? Because he couldn't get 50 million a year off him.
Again, Dave Rubin just like will have like bigots on to say like you should never be gay or it's like wrong to be anti-gay, as he's a gay man himself. And some of those guests like Glenn Beck will tell him to his face that like it's sinful to be gay, and it's just like, wait a minute, did like Dave Rubin took the God pill? Someone took the God pill, as it were. I just forgot who. Um. Oh yeah, the Fluid Voice is later on tonight. About like Twitter and that sort of thing too. And our friend Joey DigiSander is going to be on Fluid Voice tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
Uh,
Kevin's mainly on Twitch now.
yeah, he is. He streams almost every day. He rated into me like last stream. So yeah, I need to catch more of like a Kevin Logan streams. He still occasionally does like I think it's every Friday the Kevin and Chrissy happy hour. So I don't listen into those ones with the Chrissy Winners. But sometimes it's like a Kevin Logan's content is just like I would say a lot of streamers also do this, where it's that they're just playing a video on like Twitch as they're streaming and that sort of thing too, which I think was like is style of content called React Andy. But like Kevin Logan was already doing that well before YouTube. But at least when Kevin Logan does that, he will pause every so often too to interject some commentary or just like debunk whatever they're saying. So I like it when like people do that, is as opposed to like what how some streamers do is I'm going on a break, or I'm going on lunch, or I'm going to like be eating something like that, and would just like play someone else's video on like the stream
oh man,
and
that's
not
such a good
react.
grift. We should do that. I mean, no, that's wrong. That's
It was just why I never I always thought that was the kind of like a lazy content to do. It's just like, well, it's so easy to do. Then why is a Twitch channel here? Why do it a Twitch channel? I never like go for that. I tried to like at least watch these videos on my own when I do that. For um, that's all. Denial of Germany camp. Yeah, that's like a big one. That's a big understatement. What? I don't know. I don't know the context, John Burns. Um. Oh yeah. You had to DM a D&D group. Joe and Jumpy, priorities. Those like dungeon crawlers are not going to like fall into traps on their own, as were. So like, yeah, the important like thing to do DMing that sort of thing too. But hey, it's the Fluid Voice is always on YouTube, so all the past shows will be up there as well, just like all past shows of like such just as Alchemy is all up on YouTube, so you can watch it again later. And you got Bonfire. Okay, I'm sure you would like be careful with bonfires and like that, but you should not like be drinking so much that you fall into the bonfire. That's what happened to Christopher Titus when he was 17, and that's why he stopped drinking when he was 17. True story.
Wow.
He stopped drinking before he was old enough to drink because, like, when you fall into a bonfire,
that's kind of a wake up call. Yeah.
Yeah, that would do the trick, wouldn't it? Yeah.
is my oldest brother still drinks, even though he allowed his hair on fire once. But he learned a mistake. Do not go out drinking with his buddies on the day he gave blood.
Yeah.
I weigh more than him, and he's slightly taller, so he can get drunk quicker too. Again, the advantage of getting drunk quicker is that like you save on alcohol that way. You save money that way by being lightweight. Players going to hate it on this one. They're going to have to fight a black dragon soon. Yeah,
Like
they
an
have
adult
to
black
hate.
dragon, an ancient black dragon.
You know what?
Oh,
That's
wait, no, you turned your players into cops, didn't you? Why gotta be a black dragon?
You know
Let me
what?
guess. You're gonna call it an adult black dragon. It's actually gonna be a juvenile black dragon. God damn it, Joe. Jordan.
You know what? That's a good enough segue to mention how, like, John Brockwood, you're part of another podcast, aren't you?
Yes.
It's like 6
We
minutes
did a
before the end
retcon
of
to
the
stop being cops killing black people.
show.
I'm terrified. I've been asked to DM something, and I haven't DM'd for Christ 20 years now.
Mm.
I'm
Just
still
feed their
think-
murder hobo tendencies. It'll be fine.
I'm still thinking in terms of second edition. You know, I'm like, Thaco, what's wrong with Thaco, you idiots? Don't you understand it?
Why is everything upside down and backwards? Because it was based on a World War II naval simulator.
He
But
almost
yes.
died on the set of concept of space, Christopher Dice. Oh, that was a cool movie anyway. But yes, you are a part of another podcast, Dungeons and Boggles. Heck of a lot of fun, much different from this.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we are. One of our members was seduced by a teenager and is possibly going to have kittens. Like literally, because they're both cat people.
Okay. I was about to say, it's like, wait a minute, is someone doing a Loki thing and just transforming their species? Because that's badass, honestly, in my opinion. The ancient one, they're gonna really hate me. I love DM and running a DM Green group. That's cool. But yeah, so John Bryan was part of another past Dungeons and Boggles. I'm Summer Geek on YouTube. I haven't posted a video in months. I should get back to that eventually. When I'm not playing like a Fortnite on like my. When I got home for my 2 hours of like weekday nights, co-host Twitter. Even though I'm probably one of the 300 posts that you get to see on Twitter, as it were, but Tumblr.
What a
And-
clusterfuck.
Thanks, John. Thanks, John Burns.
For a while there, you were
tradition.
Tottenham. Did you notice that one?
I don't know what. Why is the crown on Mithril's head now? Why is there
That's
a crown
that's
now?
Real Madrid
Oh, for
or
God's sake.
Madrid Royal.
Oh God, the Royals. Jeez.
It's the football
You know-
club, hence the FC, the MFC right there in the middle, even though it's actually MCF.
But Real Madrid, is it Real Madrid? Are owned by the fans. They are
okay.
They are a collective.
So the C
It's
stands for
always-
communist.
Yes,
Uh,
and I don't know if they still are, but for a while they were sponsored by UNESCO.
Oh, okay, nice. What?
See, that's actual football as opposed to what you Americans, in your vainglorious nonsense, call football.
Yeah,
You
it's
asked
hand
for it.
egg. It's just hand egg.
It is.
So yeah, and I also am like in keep up with and like make changes to like CharityLinks.page. The CharityLinks.page, like Ness and Echo and Lincoln have like finally moved. They're now in Wisconsin, for better or worse, in the middle of nowhere in Wisconsin, for better or worse. They're setting things up now, and so they have like additional costs because of that. So they'll need to raise like about 900 to 1100 in the next couple of weeks to like set up their phones and internet so they can get back to streaming and connect back to the world again. Get an AC for the room because it's hot as hell in Wisconsin, and also back end of the month we'll need like money for food. So like their Lincoln's information and the information donated to Lincoln as well as Phoenix as well as Joanna. Let's not forget them. Is in CharityLinks.page, and yeah, I'm going to stream you later on the Twitch once I get off this call, and that's it. Mitchell, thank you for coming on to like
And thank you for sharing
being the-
your love of football.
Not a problem, mate. Not a problem.
See, we probably if we're like next week is going to be a Patreon show, so we won't have to like figure out who's going to fill in for Isaiah as a word. No, we'll have our patrons on. There'll be plenty enough conversations to go around like then. So yeah, look forward to that. Next week is also my birthday, July 9th. I just realized that I'm going to be 39. So yeah, was all
And
that.
me as stripling.
So all that to be said is stay awesome, my friends. Take care of yourselves. Don't forget to hydrate and like practice self care. Later, everyone.
Yeah. Take care, everyone.